Hey, what's up guys? Ben Clark here for Adapt to Perform. So winter is finally here. We had a long summer, but the temperature's starting to drop now and it's getting a lot colder. So I made this video to show you 8 different ways that you can keep warm this winter. Alright then, so the first one is probably the most obvious one, but it's to dress warmer. As the temperature drops, gets colder outside, we need to make sure that we're keeping our body heat on, like within us, not letting it escape. So to do this, we do things like hats and scarves, that's the obvious thing, but doing things like wearing thicker socks, wearing some like under leggings or general things like that just to keep us warm, all the way through the winter. It's important, but sometimes we forget about it and go just out in just a regular jumper or something, but we need that extra protection underneath. All right, number 2, this is about keeping the cold out and keeping the warm in, and this is true of your house. So we have our doors and windows and all that, but sometimes it can get have a little bit like of a draft coming through. So like at the top of the windows, bottom of the doors, even keyholes and stuff like that, if there's wind coming through, it actually makes the house colder. So what we want to do is to sort of block up these things to make sure that the heat stays in. Not only this is going to keep your place nice and warmer, but it helps save on electricity bills because the house isn't having to work as hard to keep it warm because it's not escaping and the cold's not coming in. So pretty simple, really. Just a few little things you can do there. So tip number 3 is not relying on alcohol to keep us warm. It's a little bit of a myth that alcohol sort of keeps you warm. You drink and you feel warm and that, but it's more that you don't really care about it. In actual fact, it's doing the opposite. It's actually making you colder. It's so having that alcohol in your system, you might think you're getting warmer, but you're actually getting colder, and it can be bad for, especially if you're in a wheelchair. Having those circulation problems. Having the alcohol doesn't actually help in the long run. However, it is Christmas. I'm not going to say don't drink alcohol. Still have a drink, but just be aware that it's not going to help keep you warm. Alright, tip number 4 is checking your heating regularly. So this is quite a simple thing, but sometimes radiators are a thing that can fail. So it's important that we regularly check them, and all it has to be is just hover your hand over it to make sure it's warm, check the thing's working properly, and keep it like that. Otherwise, if the heating fails and you suddenly get cold, it's through the night, you get colder through the night and you have a less good sleep through the night. So it's important to keep these checked and to make sure that they're well maintained as well. So talking about temperatures within your house and the radiators, it's quite important to keep it maintain like a steady temperature throughout the whole time, not making it too hot, not making it too cold, making it sort of a livable, comfortable position to be in. And this is with your whole place. Keeping it sort of between about 16 to 21 degrees, that sort of room temperature range. What it does is it makes it nice and comfortable for you. It means that you're not going up and down and up and down. Some people, you leave the heat on when you're in and it's really high, and you get hot, which is nice after like a walk or something. But having that constant temperature up throughout the whole thing, it means that you're not using as much on your heating bill because it's a lower temperature and it's staying at that sort of lower but comfortable temperature, throughout the whole winter. But you are getting the benefits of it, being warmer inside than it is outside. Alright then, so tip number 6 is having regular warm food. So this is, things like soups and stews. My personal favourite is to have porridge in the mornings. I feel that warms me up from the inside and makes me all nice and cozy, and it's a real great start to the day. Having that porridge, and it's quite a good fuel source, and it keeps you going throughout the whole day, and it keeps you warm, especially through these winter months. So yeah, keep those nice, warm, yummy meals coming in, and enjoy them as well. All right, tip number 7 is obviously something that is close to me on this channel, which is staying active, keeping fit and active. Not only does exercise raise your body temperature, it also means that you're able to regulate your temperature better in the long run. So, with improved circulation and things like that. So, staying active, keeping active through the winter. It's harder during the winter, you get a lot less motivation. Seasonal changes mean, can lead to sort of like not wanting to do things so much, changing from cold to hot, hot to cold, changing into these colder months, you're less willing to do it, but doing so means that you're going to have a better time through these months. So keep active, keep warm, and also with the active side, staying indoors a lot more because it is cold. You're going to get, signs of depression and that sort of thing coming in. Getting active, getting outside, getting to the gym, that sort of thing, it also helps with the mental side of it. And lastly is tip number 8. So for me, living in the UK, we have something called a winter fuel allowance, and this is something that you can get. I don't know what it is in all the countries, but different countries have different schemes to help those that are like more vulnerable out to stay warm during the winter. So your bills and that are supported, so you can spend that a little bit extra. So you're not thinking, oh no, I can't afford the bill this month, I must turn the heating down. Instead, you get that extra little support in there, and it helps with those bills so you don't feel pressured into not using your heating. Alright then guys, so that was my 8 little tips there. I hope that helps you out. It is cold, make sure you wrap up warm. I get a lot of messages from people saying, I find the motivation harder and that during the winter. But doing these things is really going to help with that motivation. The more warm we stay, the more willing we are to get fit and healthy and stay on track. So really make sure that you're doing these things. You probably know most of them, but hey, it might just be a reminder to you. It might be an extra little one in there that might help. So yeah, hope you enjoyed that video, guys. If you did, let me know down below. Subscribe to the channel, all that jazz. And if you love what I do and want to support the channel further, head on over to my Patreon page, patreon.com/adaptperform. By supporting me there, you make these sort of videos happen, and I've got this lovely new microphone now thanks to the guys over at Patreon. So it really helps with making this channel bigger and better. So yes, if you like what I do, please consider it, but if you don't want to, that's fine. The videos are still going to come. So thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.